Right, in this video, I'm going to talk about the 1 hour rule. And we're going to use AET as an example. AET needed to break a route above 123 on some good volume. But on that day, it was really light, right? I had a follower ask me, it's confirming, but he didn't look at the volume. I'm pretty sure this AET required 400K. Let me see something for a second. Okay, let's go into Power Trigger Trade here and Power Plan Trades here, and see if we can open this up. So AET, I said, it has to get above 127.75 on some good volume. 400K on a 10-minute chart is a good sign. If the volume is less than that, then let this base above 123 and show up and look for power to 124. Now this is perfect now, okay? Okay, so obviously in the first, you can see the volume was really low that day. Even though it theoretically it came up there, the volume wasn't there. This was a quick spike, and they pulled this back, right? And so in theory, the volume wasn't there. I didn't even bother with this stock, and then until I wasn't even paying attention, I got a message from one of my followers, and it was confirming, theoretically over here, right? Theoretically, that's a confirmation, but the 1 hour rule means we don't bother we don't bother entering stocks that confirm late in the day. And as you can see, this is faded and has faded since. What I did do is I said if I happen to see some really power, and I even looked for even higher than this high, right, like 123.60. Of course, it couldn't do that, right? And then it just faded. Then I would think about entering, but it never could do that. And that's what I do sometimes when I'm not sure of something and I'm looking at the intraday pattern. But in theory, the 1 hour rule is that it confirms in the first hour. So that these are 2 bars. So this never really did confirm, right? So let's take a look at Tesla, for example. That it did confirm. Now, not the new one. The new one it did, but not perfectly with volume, of course. We theoretically we never really confirmed. We confirmed a bit late, but this was more of a break-even trade for me, Tesla. But let's take a look at when it did the right thing. So, in theory, on the 7th of June, that's when this confirmed. It was a 2-day run. You had to get out of this stock, within the first hour of trading. You notice again, if you notice, the first hour of trading is usually the most that I find on the right setup stocks is the most explosive time to trade. So usually if something has the right kind of volume and it's exploding strongly, and it does so in the first hour, that means it's within at least the first 2 bars of a 30-minute chart, you get a chance to see the volume. That's why I use a 10-minute chart. Sometimes the 10-minute chart is giving an example that there is a good enough power coming in and we're reaching the targets. And we just know that you just jump in. And this confirmed within the first 10-15 minutes of trading TSLA in the 224 area, and then it just went straight up. Okay, so that's an example. This was a 1 hour. This Tesla confirmed perfectly on the 7th of June in the first hour of trading. So that's the gist of the first hour. There are ways to, so usually we're trying to get into something if it's in, and then if it doesn't trigger within the first hour of trading, we leave it alone. Because 9 out of 10 times the best trades tend to trigger in the first hour of trading. The best, even the first half an hour is even because it's just boom, and it depends on the market conditions and so on and so forth. But it works the best. A lot of stuff tends to trigger the quickest in the first days, the biggest. If again, it has to be set up here. So that's where if this rule works, of course, it doesn't work for anything, but it works based on that the stock is set up and that we're looking for a volume criteria, and we're looking for price action criteria, and we want the stock to be able to do so within the first hour. And that's when you really think, because sometimes or in some scopes, depending even an hour and a half, and if it does it really well, you know what I mean. But when it's late in the afternoon and it does it in a so-so way, because AET did that, they tend not to be the best. And again, if you want to be strict, then that's what the 1 hour rule is. It doesn't solve sometimes there's going to be things you miss, but I say 9 out of 10 times the 1 hour rule, those stocks that trigger within the first hour are the best. Thanks for listening. Like the video.